Okay, we're finally here. George Kambosos Jr. versus Devin Haney for the undisputed lightweight championships. All the belts are on the line. Kambosos putting his WBA, WBL, IBF, and the Ring magazine belt on the line. And Devin Haney putting his WBC belt on the line. The fight will be at the Marvel Stadium in Melbourne, Australia, and it's about time. We are getting an undisputed lightweight champion, the first lightweight champion since the late great Pernell Whitaker, and the first in the 4-belt era. So, an amazing fight. A fight that's sort of been on the cards for a while, back and forth with the negotiations and what have you, but we're finally here, and I'm really looking forward to this one. I will be honest, I think this lightweight division, I think is my favourite in boxing, but I think it's the most frustrating because nobody wants to fight anybody. But coming into this fight, I'm looking forward to it. I'll be honest, I really did want Teofimo versus Devin Haney. I thought the beef between them and the stylistically, I thought it would be such an interesting fight. In this division, there's so many great fighters. There's up and coming ones anyway. You got Devin Haney, Kambosos fighting here, but then you've got obviously Tank, who won the other day. You've got Ryan Garcia. You've got people like Isaac Cruz. You've got Shakur Stevenson possibly coming up into the division, and it's still maybe Teofimo could come back down. There's so many different matchups and possibilities at this weight. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to this fight though. It's like I said, you will be getting undisputed champion history for one of these two. For Kambosos, it will be his first defense of the belts after he beat Teofimo Lopez back in, when was it, the Teofimo Lopez fight? I want to say, was it November time or something? I don't know, something like that, but a while ago. He hasn't fought for a while, Kambosos feels, and I think it's good that he's fighting now. He's not doing what Teofimo did and waiting too long. I think Devin Haney, to his credit, is actually relatively quite active. I feel obviously fought Jojo Diaz, his last fight before that, fought Linares, fought Gamboa before that, so he only had obviously one fight in 2020, but nobody really had that many fights in that year, to be fair. In 2019 he did have 3 fights though, so I think he's on the move and had 2 in 2021. So like I said, he isn't inactive. Haney, he wants to fight, and I believe he's wanted the big fights for a while, and I think now I'm happy that we're finally getting it. And yeah, a real interesting one. You got Haney, who's a slick boxer. You got Kambosos, who's a little bit, not the same, but very fast hands, quite similar to Pacquiao. Not the same again, but to an extent. I was stylistically, obviously did train with Pacquiao back in the day, and yeah, a real intriguing fight. With it being in Australia, I think obviously it's going to be interesting to see if Haney can get the decision over Kambosos, but you don't know. I mean, I do stylistically, like I said, I do like this fight. I would have loved the Teofimo fight because of the power, but Kambosos shows that he can bang, and he has got the ability to drop you, and I could definitely see him doing that in this fight. I think both of these two are both very young, and they are both eager, and I think that's one thing that I'm looking forward to in this fight. They're both going to come in there to win. Neither of those two is going to come in there and coast, and I think that is my excitement for this. And again, seeing an undisputed champion in this division, I think is going to be great. So I'm really looking forward to this one. So when we go into the two champions, first of all, start off with the WBC champion, Devin Haney. Haney is a fantastic boxer. I think he goes a bit too far trying to do the Floyd thing, but he is brilliant. And I think, to me, I think he kind of gets stuck between styles. In the Linares fight, I felt like he chased the KO too much and was just sort of fighting a bit too, not wild, but just a bit too offensively. He hasn't got the knockout power, Haney. Everybody knows this isn't something that's just there to beat him with. He hasn't got the ability to put people out the same way that Teofimo, Tank, even Ryan Garcia, possibly even Kambosos. I mean, Kambosos did drop Teofimo. It was a bit of a shot that Teofimo ran onto, but either way, I still think Kambosos has more power than Haney. So I think what will be important for Haney, first of all, I think he has possibly the best jab in boxing, if not one of the best. So I would say stay behind the jab. You want to keep Kambosos at range. You want to be able to box him when Haney's at his range, and when he gets to a rhythm, he's very, very hard to even get close to at times. So I think getting that jab, popping it, snapping a Kambosos head back. Kambosos isn't really got the most amazing defense, so I think you definitely can land that at will. And with Haney's jab, he's like a rangefinder. I think he'll land it with ease. So I don't really expect him to. I don't expect anything else. This is probably the most easiest thing to tell, but he will establish that jab quite early, Haney. And I think another thing that I would say for the second point, and this is very big, like I said, he hasn't got the knockout power, so do not chase the KO, because if it gets to be that it becomes a war, I think I favour Kambosos. Kambosos, I think, slightly quicker hands and I think more power in his hands. So I don't know. I don't think he would be smart. I think Haney needs to be smart in this one, pick his shots wisely. It may not be the most crowd pleasing way to do it or crowd pleasing fight, but I still think that being you rather be safe than sorry, in my opinion. I don't think you want to take that risk with someone like Kambosos and go to war with him and try and make it a dogfight. I think stay behind your jazz, stay slick, and be the boxer. And I think, to me, it's Haney's best chance to win. He's not going to knock him out, I don't think. Maybe he drops him, but I still don't think he knocks him out. So, yeah, to me, I would say, yeah, definitely don't chase the KO. I know, to me, it's hard to see him get a decision in Australia, but if you are going to chase, you just got to be economical and go to the body and be smart with it. But yeah, just don't chase it though, because when Haney does that, he loses himself open, and that's when he gets hit and he gets wobbled, as we saw against Linares, and even Diaz caused him some problems at times. So I think just do that. Don't chase the KO. And the third point of it, I would say, is to command centre ring. It's going to go against my point with Kambosos, but to not push Kambosos back completely, but just force him on the back foot a bit, you know. Be the general in there, be the one dictating the fight, because Kambosos struggled when Teofimo did that to him. Teofimo's problem in their fight was that he fought like a lunatic and just went out and tried to knock his head off. If you can just be smart in there, be economical, go to the body, go to the head. I think keep the jab. If you can just push him back and keep the combinations up, I don't really see Kambosos really being able to live with that. And I think with the way that Haney fights, he quite often does push people back, but I don't know, sometimes it goes a bit crazy. Like I said before about trying to get the KO because of the people talk about his power, and I think one thing Haney does really well to me is that he's so good at sort of, when it's a fight where it's at his pace, you don't really hit him clean, really. If it's almost like if he wants to be someone who doesn't get hit, he does that. It's the problem comes is when he tries to chase the KO, he can't be that fighter who's so elusive, and I think that could be his undoing here. But to me, like I said, the third point and the fight one, like I said, command centering, be the general, be the aggressor, and I think he will as well. I don't think that Kambosos' ability as a boxer, I don't think Kambosos is on Haney's level in terms of a pure boxing point of view. As a fighter, then it could be a different thing. But yeah, I definitely would like to. I think if Haney can command centre ring, if he stays smart, doesn't chase the KO and stays behind the jab, I think it's his best chance to win. I don't think that Kambosos really can hang with him as a boxer. Like I said, I think he's the better boxer, and usually the better boxer beats the better fighter. So it'd be interesting to see what Haney's game plan is mentally going to Australia as well. How does he handle that? It's a lot of things, and his dad's not in his corner as well. Zabjuda's dad's going to be there, or Zabjuda's. And I think that's, again, another factor. Mentally, is he going to be right? And that's where I hope. I think for him, this is why you got to stay calm, but don't go for the KO. But I just wonder if he will lose his head. But we'll see on the night.